I'm hoping it still works.
And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to start up Phoenix Wright in just a moment. We kind of had an incident with one of our biggest fans, but other than that, he's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah, he kind of got rowdy and tried to rip off our headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He kind of ended up eating one of them.
Yeah.
Sarah, can you reach it from here? You're going to have to pull in just a little bit.
Pull in.
I am!
Also, I would
Pull
use...
harder.
Hold on.
Shut up. Alright, I'd use the stylus too.
Hold on. I got
Pull harder. Oh my.
I'm not plugged in.
Oh.
Oh my.
Also, off screen, I am still working on the tank that is our ship.
Meanwhile, I still don't know what happened. So, was it the fan thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
The fan blade caught one of the jacks and ate my spare head set. I'm glad it was one of mine and not one of my friends.
Good morning, Max.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, sweeties.
You don't seem like your usual sparkly self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
That's Regina, I believe.
I forget her voice. Oh, there you go.
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk. Regina!
Ha! How fabulous! My sweetie pie! My sweetie pie princess! You came to watch my performance today.
Of
What
course I
performance?
did. Ma told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show. Isn't that right, my sweeties?
Huh?
Here.
I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't...
Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on, or even where she is.
Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later. Today I'm just a member of the audience.
Fabulous! Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
You know, when I go over recordings, that's like the voice I'm doing sounds nothing like the sound I'm doing.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's really bad.
Oh.
It's upsetting too, because, like, okay, just for clarity's sake, folks who are listening to this, in this room, I actually sound like Pegasus.
He does.
On the recording, I do not.
Oh,
It's unfortunate.
That's a bummer. Oh well.
You getting the towel behind that rock?
Regina's different, don't you think, Nick?
Top of the morning to you, laddies! I'm Jacksepticeye! Everybody, let's get ready to get stuck in legal limbo. How low can you go? Mo? Top of the morning to you, governor! Top of the morning? That's the ticket. The day starts with energy in the morning. The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function. Here, Max, I brought you a present. Have some milk.
Oh, my. Thanks.
So how are you today, right? Well, I've got a feeling that today is going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro?
Oh.
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful. He's used to putting his life on the line, literally. He's got guts to spare. If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means that I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today I'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare.
Dun dun dun.
Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we get past Acro and the truth.
You're right. But it's gonna be tough.
Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father.
You want us to make sure Regina watches?
Yes. That's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to mean?
She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars.
Stars.
I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars.
Oh.
Do you see where this is going?
We're gonna slap her!
Well,
Metaphorically.
back to reality, yes.
Yes.
Snap
but
back to reality. Oh, there goes Scratch.
shot through the heart.
And you're too late. I don't remember the actual
Court
thing.
is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
Sure.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
Rabble,
Rabble, rabble, rabble, rabble.
Order, order!
No. I like
Order,
fries.
order, order!
I had a feeling something like this would come up, because it usually does in these trials.
Pretty much.
Sure, yeah, okay. Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night. An
I have too many gummies.
An explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders.
Poor Gumshoe.
I had to whip
Very
it
well. Very well. Please call your witness to the stand. Time to get to work. Or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope.
That was bad.
And he's not really the best with puns.
You should see him with step ladders.
Yeah.
Name and occupation.
Do you want me to take care of Acro, Phil, while you're, Okay,
Sorry.
Ken Dingling, but everyone calls me Acro.
Somehow.
I'm employed as an acrobat at the Very Big Circus.
Where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night.
I was kind of aiming for a straight-laced character on that one.
If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is... that's you. Sarah, that's you.
If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene.
My room is on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed?
Okay.
So relaxed. What I witnessed?
It was just after 10 p.m., and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thumps noise from outside the window. Then, a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that of the clown.
If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution need to add. All that's left is to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night.
Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
A foolish choice. Okay, this is going to be a bit. A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool.
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 Is that who I think it is saying all that?
A man.
Francisca Von Karma.
Okay.
A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
That is
blow.
a low
Mr.
blow.
Wright, do you have a problem with the witness's testimony?
Yes.
In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened. Very well. You may proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. So you don't have to worry about presenting anything here.
Okay.
There is something you do need to press on, though.
Okay.
It's something that, like, it seems like it'd be suspicious. So don't press on everything, but there's one thing that you need to press on.
Okay, so I can't press on everything, right?
I don't think there's actually a restriction here, but look for the one thing that looks suspicious.
Okay.
As in, like, it's vague or, like, it just seems odd. Then a few moments later, I saw something flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's who it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought it was dreaming. What do you think? Your room is on the 3rd floor, right? Yes. And you said that you were resting in bed? That should have been a question mark at the end, but...
Yeah, whatever.
That is correct. But you were still able to hear a sound from outside? I was indeed. Pressing acro doesn't seem to get results. Maybe something was contradicting what he said just now. No, there was nothing wrong.
Okay.
What's the matter, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. Until I can find a clear contradiction, I should tread lightly.
Grumble. Lady Rage.
I will tell you, it's the 4th statement. So this is the 3rd one. This is the 4th one.
Okay.
Sarah's
song
nerd
for
rage
behind.
activates.
No, it's Von Karma Rage.
The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see. But honestly, there was only enough light for me to see a silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front. Did you see any of the other symbols? I clearly saw the silk hat, as well as the cloak wrapped around his body.
I don't like that look in his face.
I'm convinced that the person I saw was Max Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there is something fishy about this latest bit of testimony. What do you think?
How can he sit up?
He can sit up. I mean, it's only so that his legs, he can't walk on.
Yeah, but he can move his legs.
Yeah,
No.
he can. He could move
Like
his
he
legs.
he can adjust his seating like with his hands, but he cannot move his legs.
Okay, in the picture,
Well, maybe his
his
legs
leg is bent.
Well, if he's moving his body from the waist, he could probably still move his legs somewhat, but not like to the degree where he could stand on.
I thought he was fully paralyzed.
I don't think it's completely.
Okay.
I'm not completely, but he can't walk. He definitely can't walk.
Yeah.
But there is something a little fishy about that.
Okay.
There is a huge contradiction in the testimony that was just given.
Objection! If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim of the contradiction? What do you think?
Well, how did we get the hat? Because it was left at the crime scene, right? So if he had the hat, how did he see it if it was left at the crime scene?
Interesting. If you think that's what it is, go for it.
Take that!
You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult, considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Mac's silk hat. Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright?
I was right.
Are you saying that Max has 2 silk hats?
No.
No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only for Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand.
Tisk. Just tisk, dude.
Order.
I'd like some fries.
I would want some poutine.
As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking. Are you okay, Nick?
Well, I opened my big mouth, and now I have to back it up. How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
Wasn't it real complicated?
What do you think is the most obvious answer?
He would have a grudge.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, but he would have a grudge, but not against Max.
Yeah, but that's not one of the options, is it?
No, it isn't. So it can't be the grudge against Max.
If you're making this claim, what's the natural option to think?
Acro's the culprit.
Your Honor? On this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself.
On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of? Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry. Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Yes.
Deadly serious, Your Honor.
Differently abled, not disabled.
I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try and grab it an audience's hearts and minds.
What can I say? I have a knack for the theatrics.
I know.
And also, you kind of have this feeling too, considering you like to finish quickly.
Yeah.
Not in that way. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Well,
Really?
he's kind of good at bluff.
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. Dirty. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary.
But that's the thing. He's just really good at lying. he defies death on a regular basis.
Yeah. The
He
frickin'
is
bird.
staying rather calm and collected. I know it's poking him in the head.
Stop poking me, bird.
Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation? I don't really need to say anything, do I? What do you mean? Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
He's using the...
That's true. That's true. He's
Lies.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. But to do this by accusing me of a murder of all things... Oh, he's trying to play the sympathy card.
See?
Yep.
Even a sliver of common sense makes it clear the accusation is ludicrous.
Ludicrous, I say!
She's right! Way to pick on a disabled, you heartless, cruel man! Phoenix is a poopy head.
Two people said
It's
that.
funny if it's a dude voice that's saying that.
Yeah. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support for the peanut gallery, that's how you do it.
Hey, she just call us the peanut gallery?
Yes, I did, and you will accept it.
We don't really have a choice, do we?
Nope.
Uh,
I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's appointment to confirm that Acro was unable to stand under his own power.
doctor's note.
Whatever. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright? Did Acro have an accomplice? Well, look at it this way. What has everyone said about the ringmaster?
He was a nice guy.
So would they naturally want to help Acro kill him? Kill the ringmaster?
Why would the ringmaster want to help Acro kill him?
No. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I guess I worded it wrong,
Yeah.
but would anyone in their right mind in this scenario help Acro kill the ringmaster if they all liked him so much?
Absolutely not.
If everyone loved the ringmaster, why would they help why would they help Acro kill the ringmaster?
Because the ringmaster must have... Because Acro might have blamed the ringmaster.
Would they believe him? In all honesty, making such an absurd claim just out of the blue, would people naturally believe him at face value?
Well, he's in a wheelchair, so he would have played the sympathy card.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Maybe they would have known that he was playing the sympathy card, and maybe putting his blame onto someone else.
Then yeah, they would have helped him.
I don't know. If they all loved the ringmaster, they would have gotten his side of the story too.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't just blindly follow Acro in that sense. I don't know, but I honestly think that he wouldn't have had an accomplice in this sense.
So no.
So I honestly think that nobody would have helped him kill the ringmaster. And also, to be fair,
Yeah.
Von Karma is kind of wanting us to answer, of course he did.
Right, yeah.
She wants us to play.
Chicken Von Karma! Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice.
Not this time, Von Karma.
What? Huh? Wait, what?
See, if you answered yes, you would have been playing right into her hands.
True.
You're not going to sucker me into this one. What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright? There was no accomplice. Acro planned and committed this murder all by himself. Order!
I would like surprise!
I'd like a double bacon cheeseburger, please. What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on your toes, Nick.
Now I'm going to have to
There.
prove how it all fits together. I have to show that Acro murdered Russell Berry.
Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that?
I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed.
And
All
stop
right,
me.
then let's do it!
Let's do it!
Mr. Phoenix Wright,
Meh.
if this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
Mr. Wright, I'd like you to clear something up for me.
No.
When the crime was committed, exactly where was Mr. Dingley?
Because I have to keep in mind that... There's no footprints of the scene, right?
Yes.
So...
Except for
his walking, the victims walking to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So, he would have been in his room.
If you think that's the answer,
Yeah,
then...
because his window is right in front of it. It's right here.
I think it actually happened in the court right here.
Oh, right here?
No, right here.
Right here?
Yeah, it happened right around there, but...
And the window's right here.
Yes, something like that. If that
So
was the
he would have
case.
been able to kill him if through the window.
Mm-hmm. And there's also another fact that would make the Acro's room the answer here.
What?
He's in a wheelchair. He can't leave his room by himself.
Yeah.
because it's stairs.
So he would have to have committed it from his room.
Yeah. So,
Also, welcome back.
Hello.
good, you weren't driving.
Take that! He was obviously here the entire time. That's Acro's room. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can be only one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster.
What? Are you nuts?
Well,
Yes.
maybe.
He's paraplegic.
What say you,
How is
Mr.
he walking
Dingling?
around?
He's not.
He's not.
No, he's in a wheelchair.
They don't show that. In the
Yes, they do. Look at his back.
It's an interesting theory. That's it? Considering that what you proposed is impossible, yes, that's it. My, are we calm? Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? As the witness has stated, Your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there's no way he could go to the scene and be the killer.
Which means he was hanging.
You've got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix, Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime. That's true. Mo said that he saw Max, didn't he? Fly away!
I'm just imagining the sound effect.
Yeah.
But Maya, it's still impossible for humans to fly. Do you mind if I ask a question, Mr. Wright? What is it? I understand some of your logic. However, how do you think that I killed him? If I can't leave my room, I obviously couldn't wear Max's costume. How did he do it? That's the next course of this legal buffet.
Be careful, Nick, if you mess this up here.
She's right. I can't mess up here. I've got to give this one some serious thought. I'm sure that Acro killed the ringmaster. And he did it while he was in his room. No doubt about it. Time to enlighten us on how Mr. Dingling committed the crime, Mr. Wright.
Do I have the evidence to do it?
Yes, you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. This has nothing to... The bus doesn't have anything to do with it, does it?
I don't know. Does it?
I don't know.
I love that answer. I don't know, does it?
I want her to figure this out.
I know.
Yeah. But look at the choice that you have here. You have the choice to present evidence or don't do anything. So, since you know that you do have the evidence you need, you can present the evidence.
But I don't know which evidence it is.
Yeah, but that's going to be the next step.
See this head? I'm kind of curious.
This is the next choice. Don't say anything,
Okay. It makes sense though.
Pepper!
Right. Well, first things first. Just go out of this menu and then go to present evidence. I'm going to present some evidence. So, what did Mr. Dingling use to commit the crime of the murder against Russell Barry? I'll give you a small hint. There are two things in your inventory, or in your evidence, that are related to Max's costume, specifically the one that he claimed that he saw.
Okay, dude, that's just ridiculous.
So,
It's a
I'm not
tank.
ridiculous, you're ridiculous.
so that's the thing that we're talking about. But there's something else in your inventory that has a hat-like object on it.
The bus.
Later.
Bye.
See you later.
See you
This.
later, alligator.
The first thing I looked at.
Well, if you think it's the right answer.
Does it smell like it? I have no idea what's going
That's a
on.
half hat.
If you think that's the answer, then use it.
Bus.
Later.
What's that? A picture?
Yes!
It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture. And also, look at it. It looks like it'd be heavy enough to kill someone from a high fall, wouldn't it? Yeah. The bust? It's quite the large bust, and because of it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, considering that he was killed by blunt force trauma to the head.
Yes.
Especially if it was dropped from a third-story window.
Ah! Ah! Yeah.
See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster. With the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust.
It's very ample. It's very ample.
I love the script for this game. Order.
I like fries.
So you're saying the bust fell onto the Ringmaster?
Yes.
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit.
No. How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible. What?
Well, Acro is an acrobat. He should have more than enough upper body strength to carry something like a bust. Mr. Dingling, how do you respond to these charges?
The words.
Well,
I was at a loss for words.
2
he
words.
should be.
Worth it.
I didn't finish reading that.
Sorry.
Well. Ouch.
I'm not letting you finish that either. I'd watch what you say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix,
I
right?
only said 1 word.
Don't care.
What?
Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you sir. God, Karma.
Please have a backbone.
She's just using this testimony as to stall for time. There is absolutely no need for such testimony.
Objection! The defense has its version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled.
No!
Why can't he see things my way once in a while?
No.
Because then we would
let you.
Because then we wouldn't have a game, now would we?
Yeah.
Mr. Dingling, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical
get it in
condition.
a bit.
If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you.
I want to punch you.
A woman will sink to any low to win a case.
Yes, I will. And not in that way.
You're sure
yeah,
about
he
that?
gets. Yes.
I'd like to prove it.
I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body from working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my lower body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on it, don't you think?
But there's a box.
I have no doubts in regards to this witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bus and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention that he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head. A single false step would have led to even more serious injuries, more severe injuries, whatever. It's
It's
the thing.
close enough.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Tomato,
What is your
tomato.
opinion on the matter, Mr. Wright?
I want to shoot you.
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
You need it. There we go.
What'd you do?
He's simply
He dropped
stalling.
it.
It's shameful,
Silas.
really. What?
I'm responding to Brendan.
Let her get to me. Gotta focus.
I will always get to you.
Alright. So what do you think?
There we go. I need to get that out. I'm just looking at your percent because, you know. There's a box. He is hunched over said box. He could have been trying to lift up the box when he got hit.
And if that's the case, then...
He would have known where to go. Because, you know, the box is there. If he dropped it out the window, he would know where he would be. Because all he had to do was wait and hear someone outside before dropping it. Boom. It would have destroyed his skull, though, technically.
You have your logic. So now, where do you present it?
I don't know yet.
Look for anything where he says that it'd be, knowing where it is and looking out the window would be impossible, or something like that. So, look through all this. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my own body. That makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head. Thus, it'd be unrealistic for me to drop the bus on it.
Am I in the last last thing he says?
It's one of two. That was
the last one.
That is one of them.
The main problem is how he could have aimed for his head. Sorry. Let's take an egg. Show them what you've got. You know, no one knows.
I have to be careful. I have to find something that fits perfectly with the clothes.
I don't remember us finding any sort of. I don't remember us finding any sort of tool. But maybe we overlooked something.
Okay.
Okay, you said right here, so.
Not there.
Not there?
That's not one of them.
Okay.
You'll want either the 5th or 6th ones, which is the last and the second last column. That's the last one, I believe.
This is the second last one.
Yeah, so that makes it impossible for me to have known the location of the ringmaster's head, or thus that it would be unrealistic for me to drop the bust on him, don't you think? So now you need to present something that proves that otherwise.
Okay. So I have the theory.
Mm-hmm.
Game
which
theory?
I should present. No, which I should present the box. Right?
What do you think?
Yes. Oh wait. Right here. Here. This.
Objection!
Yay!
Acro. You didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time where the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I might add.
Objection!
Jackson, your silly hinting at things is pointless. Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence? As I bang against the thing.
But I did such a good job hinting. Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
We are not able to figure it out.
Maybe you should take a look at this. That picture would have been the other piece of evidence you could
Okay.
have presented.
The box.
Yeah. The key point here is the wooden box. The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over? The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box there?
That was Phoenix.
Here.
Who? I mean, who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box. Which means that this wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. I have to admit that your theory makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry.
The moment that the bust came falling down was exactly the same moment that the ringmaster lifted up this wooden box. Which means that the answer to all these questions is now crystal clear.
You mean?
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim.
No! How dare you!
Order. This is unbelievable.
I like surprise!
That really is unbelievable. Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going. And there's only one way to go from here. Forward.
He starts walking, he bumps into the desk.
So the next question I have is, who placed that wooden box at the scene? It was Mr. Dingling, of course. He connected it to a rope, and then all he had to do was lower it down. Ow!
Allow me to whip some sense to you.
Ow!
The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specifically made.
Specifically made.
Specially made, I guess.
Specially made.
Whatever. Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature.
Contents of the box.
Actually, no.
Really? It was just like a little thing of pepper.
Yeah, but if he was to pick it up and have his head be in a specific spot,
The hooks are on the side.
yeah, but look what he would have to do. If it, like, normally you'd pick something up if it was light. You'd pick it up like this, right?
Yeah.
But if it was heavy, you'd do this.
So the weight.
Yeah, you'd have to bend your legs and put your head, like, bend in a specific way.
So he didn't know if it was heavy or light.
Yeah, but if it was weighty, then he would have to bend, like, down and be in a specific position.
So it's the weight.
Yes.
Weight!
The box has a remarkable weight.
Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down, then lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say? That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large. The box also was carrying handles on either side, wasn't it? That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place.
I would like to counter that by saying I would move my head like this to make sure my hands are grabbing the right spot. I would be moving around.
Yeah, but you would make sure, and then you go back to the middle.
Yeah, okay. Fool! Fool! It's like she starts dying. Bird.
Mark! Does he even bother to listen to me anymore?
Nope.
I've heard what you've had to say.
What?
I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills. Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the closet?
Judge.
Did you place it in... Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposed. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall the original location of Max's bust?
Yeah, I was in the cafeteria.
Mm-hmm. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria. Then what happened to it? I'd like you to remember one important fact, Mr. Wright. I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself.
That means...
You understand what I mean, don't you? I may very well have been able to drop the bust from my room. However, how would I have gotten the bust from the cafeteria to my room?
How long ago was it missing for?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that! Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice! Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bust from the cafeteria.
Yep, I definitely have a problem here.
Monkey! Money, the monkey! You like shiny things. And is the bust shiny?
I don't know. Is it shiny?
I don't know. Yes, it is! The cards are shiny!
This is no place to get perplexed. Right, Sarah? I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happened once and for all.
Jeez, that's a tank.
Alright, Mr. Wright. Let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get the bust from the cafeteria back to his room?
Money, monkey.
He's actually in your evidence.
Oh, right. Forgot. Money, monkey, like shiny objects. Remember, the bus went missing. But who likes shiny objects? Money! The monkey! Take that! Yes!
A monkey?
Yes!
A monkey! Everyone knows Money. He loves shiny objects of any size. Oh, like when he stole the ventriloquist's ring.
Yes. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own, and then brought it back home.
Oh, that face, I love it.
Oh? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room?
Objection!
Metal Gear?
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometimes and read the court record. My, those are some very nice cards he's holding. Yes, and they were made of platinum, which is very shiny. Gaw? Gwa? Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It'd be easy for him to bring the bust back to your room.
Well, yeah, considering that, you know, there's a lot of stuff in that corner.
Yeah. If he wasn't able to handle that himself, I'd be in the market for a new roommate.
What?
Order. I said order. Miss Von Carmel, where's the bust in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
I was just testing out the ship.
This
I
is-
absolutely destroyed everything in my
This
path.
is a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the
I couldn't
bus.
even run out of energy if I wanted to.
What would have happened then? Well,
Not
in
to
that
mention,
event,
I was
something else would have been
damageable
used as the
because
murder.
of the double barrier on the ship.
Wait! Do you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident?
It's possible. Maybe Acros saw Money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them.
Also, the ship is like
Oh.
stupid maneuverable too.
Face.
Anyways, I think we've more than proven one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer.
Moron!
Now that's just rude.
No, it isn't. It's nice.
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular, I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that. Oh!
Don't seem so flamboozled, especially by this fraud of attorney.
Fraud?
I have badge. You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
And what is that?
You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime.
Ah!
There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Hold on.
Nick,
Don't mind me. Just keep going.
don't let her beat you now.
I won't. This is my chance to turn this trial around.
When the murder occurred, there were two people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this, and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw?
Well, it seems rather obvious, isn't it? If it's not Max, then what was it?
The bust.
If that's what you think, go for it.
Eh.
Yeah.
Look carefully at the bust.
If they're saying that they saw something that looked like Max, but it wasn't actually Max,
Yeah.
what's the only logical explanation?
The bust.
He saw Max's ouch!
I asked who was the other person Mo saw at the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Au contraire,
Mon
frère.
I know what it's saying, but shouldn't it be ma sœur to be accurate?
Yes, but it's.
I know
for,
it's a statement.
It's for rhyming
Yeah.
purposes.
Au contraire, mon frère. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Also, save the French idioms for when we get to Athena. That's kind of her thing. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette, but he didn't actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. How is that possible?
Magic.
It's simple, really.
Really?
What Mo actually saw that night was Max's bust.
Then wait, what about the cloak?
You'll see.
Okay,
What are you?
that's me. What are you talking about?
Are you able to take a break in between? Like,
Yeah.
When we get to the next segment,
Yeah.
it's not that far.
I know.
Have you tried using your brain at all in this case?
I don't know. Have you?
Yes, I have. The silhouette he saw was wearing a cloak. I was about to say a black cloak.
That's fine. It is a black cloak. You're not wrong. There's no reason why you couldn't attach a cloak to the bust. It would be easy to hang one off the cards of the bust's hands. In the bust.
Idiot! Who in their right mind would put a cloak on a bust?
It doesn't matter who put it on the bus. Wait just a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? That question is of the utmost importance to this case. Don't you agree?
No.
Oh, he caught me. So let's have it, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bust?
That is a good question.
Also, who put the bang in the bam?
It's actually really easy, really simple. Who is the only one in the courtyard?
The ringmaster. The cloak fell
Have you guys
off. The cloak went flying onto the bus.
Hey, have
What?
you guys been paying attention to the chat with all the stuff Brendan said?
Sort of.
Not really. I'm focusing on the game.
Okay.
Funny stuff. All right.
Yeah.
So if the only person in the courtyard was the ringmaster, that's the only logical answer.
So
Isn't
it just went flying off of him and went onto the bus.
I don't know. Do you think that?
That's the only logical thing.
If it's the only logical thing, then go for it.
How do I submit that though?
Remember, you're presenting who is the one who put the cloak on the bust.
The ringmaster.
Click it one more. Yeah, there you go.
Fool! Him?
You are saying it was the victim himself, Russell Berry? That's what I'm saying.
Please tell me I got it right. The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust?
Placed the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it. Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself! Nick, do you really have a handle on all of this?
I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. Also, I'm fine. That's Apollo's thing. Stop stealing their things before they actually exist.
No!
There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright. So you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box onto the seat. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window, directly above the wooden box. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps he didn't want anyone to recognize him that night. But just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than the ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trillo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box, and that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Now this is when the magic happens.
Magic!
At the very instant that the bust hit the victim,
It wrapped around the bus. You wait just a second there, Mr. Phoenix Wright. As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this isn't just true. It can't be. It doesn't make sense.
it's still a little early to be getting so upset, Miss Von Karma.
I will get upset.
This circus isn't over yet.
What?
Okay, to be fair, when I first played this, I'm like, seriously, that's what happened? I guess because it takes place in a circus, they're allowed to be a little looser with the rules.
Yes.
The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up, which snagged onto the bust. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls, the clown. When Mo looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it. Primarily because, in his wheelchair, he couldn't see out of his window. So he just kept pulling the bust up. And that is how the magical murderer disappeared into the sky came to be.
Disappearing.
Disappearing into the sky came to be.
What?
So you see, the only person who could have pulled this off is the one person who was able to drop the murder weapon from above the crime scene. Acro. It could only have been you.
Birdie! Go poke his face.
How are the birds even in there?
I wouldn't question it.
Don't.
He's a Disney princess.
Disney Prince?
Echo's been playing mind games
Yeah,
with
princess.
all of us.
He sure has.
Oh, Liam.
But he has come to
Hi.
the end of his rope now.
So,
What now?
you've graced us with a rather long-winded tale.
You're a
Do
long-winded
you
tale.
have any? Do you have? But do you have any evidence to
That's
prove
wrong.
that your fairy tale is true?
Evidence?
Was ist das
In
evidence?
this court, only two things matter: the power of evidence and the power of my whip.
How about a gun that will shoot the whip out of your hand?
Don't forget the power of my gavel as well.
Guns aren't allowed in courtrooms, but whips are.
The
Mr.
guns
Wright,
are
the-
allowed as evidence.
The prosecution brings up a good point. Can we see some evidence?
Yeah, but you're not allowed to bring it in unless it's evidence and it can't be loaded.
Gumshoe's not smart.
Nick, they say they want evidence. How do we prove it?
I just explained how there was only one possible murder method, but there is still something unusual about Moe's eyewitness account.
Unusual?
A contradiction, actually.
Okay, then use that and get out this jam.
Of this jam.
Yeah.
That's enough talking amongst yourselves. Proceed, Mr. Wright.
Wait, there's peanut butter?
Present some evidence to the court that backs your claims.
Peanut butter jelly time.
I want hard proof that you have unraveled the trick to this magic case.
I do have the evidence for it, right?
Yes, you do. There is one thing that still doesn't fit in.
The pepper.
Do we have reason to believe that that is
We're not there
something
yet.
there?
Eh.
Here's another question. What was found at the crime scene that would make this story suspicious?
The hat. And the box.
Well, not the box, because that fits into the theory, right?
Yes.
But there was one thing that was left at the crime scene
The
that
hat.
is suspicious.
The hat.
Mhm.
The hat.
Like anybody else would have grabbed that.
Yeah.
The problem is Max's three symbols. You know the silk hat, the cloak, and the white roses? Those symbols were a problem numerous times during yesterday's proceedings. Yesterday, there were two contradictions in Moe's testimony.
The silk hat was one, the white roses were the other.
But the theory I just presented explains all of these contradictions.
You fool! Do you ever shut up?
Max's silk hat was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Moe said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Moe saw was actually the bust's.
Gasp!
Rabble, 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 rabble.
Makes sense if you look at it that way. Then he did see the silk hat. Sort of.
Objection!
Denied.
Fine, you've got one. But what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court?
Get out here.
That he witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night. But the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said that there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try to explain that one. Can you do it, Nick?
Of course. I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall
Oh,
the
it's
instant
S-
when the cloak snagged onto the bust.
Twice.
If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses?
I wish they animated that better. Oh.
Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, it means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust.
Ah!
Which explains why Moe didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust.
Bang, bang.
Order! Order!
I'll
Stop asking for fries!
I'm still waiting for my Wendy's number 6.
This is quite the shocking state of affairs. Mr. Wright's theory still sounds a bit absurd to me. However, let's just keep going down this road for a while and see where it leads.
Let's do this, Nick. And maybe one Carl will finally throw in the towel.
Doubt it.
You did say the magic
I'm
words.
here, apparently. Wait, I'm still here? What is this nonsense?
Well, so much for that theory.
Hello.
Mr.
Wait, what are you doing here?
Mr. Wright?
Polly, get out of here.
I read that.
Okay, I didn't hear the
Yeah.
do you mind part.
What is it? You took the time to research our circus, didn't you? Well, yes, I did. Is there something making you think I didn't? If you did, then maybe you'll understand why I think you're off track.
Oh no.
Why is that?
Motive. This witness feels an incredible depth of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Anyone with any relation to the circus is well aware of this. Because it wasn't meant for the ringmaster. Thus, there is absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster. He wasn't aiming for the ringmaster, though.
Who was he aiming for then?
Regina.
Why?
Because he blames her for, you know, his brother
Why?
being in a coma. Because it was
Metal
Blue
Gear.
Lion.
Yes. There's a little bit more to that.
Let's keep going though.
But we're not there yet. So.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster.
Acro's motive.
Bang.
Seems this case isn't over yet. Very well. However, I feel this is a good place to take a break. I will listen to the rest of Mr. Dingling's testimony after recess. This court will now take a 10-minute recess. Granted, we are kind of taking a 10-minute break to do things too, so...
Yes.
Would it be now or later?
Now.
Now.
Since we hit a checkpoint anyways.
All right, folks, we're gonna take. You've got access to the mouse, so what you want to do is just change it to "We'll be back after I'm done." So, folks, we're gonna take a 15-minute break, and we'll be back with more Phoenix Wright. Click on the "We'll be back" tab,
Way to be back.
and then mute us.